morning, everybody. It's Norma here. Good to be back on my mat enjoying this time with you. So we just have a minute out to get started this morning. So just a few reminders to practice at your own level. I've been out the last few weeks because I had an injury to my back. So be mindful if there's anything that you may be dealing with this morning, and we're always going to make modifications. So let's get started on our mat. Have whatever you want available to you. We don't need any props today, but if you think maybe you would like a pillow or blanket for Shavasana, please bring that down to your mat so it's available for you. Any water or I see Ginger starting already this morning. Hi, Ginger. So, opportunity to get some water through our practice, and take a break whenever you want. So let's begin to arrive. So there's some options this morning. I'm going to start in a seated posture this morning to welcome people to their mat. And sometimes it's just an alternative to starting your practice in Shavasana. So if you are sitting up, just making sure that you are, if you have any tight issues in your hips, sitting up on a blanket or a block just to have that pelvis sit more neutrally, and you want your knees below your hips. So that's what I'm doing, sitting on my bolster today. And if it's more aligned in your practice to start in Shavasana, please do that. Just getting a comfortable position, lying on your mat. So wherever you are, let's begin. So just taking those first few moments as we arrive to make any adjustments so that you're comfortable and you can get set for your practice. So maybe if you're on your back, wiggling out your shoulders, stretching out your arms. And if you're in a seat, just making sure that you are sitting on your sit bones, adjusting any flesh that may have be underneath there. So can you arrive in this space? Let's take an inhale together. Exhale, sigh, let it all go. So slowly over the next 3 or 4 breaths, settle here. Leave anything that you may have been on your mind before class. Just park it there, knowing that if you choose to pick it up after class, it'll be there. And can you soften? Can you carve out this 45 minutes to let yourself be? Know that you're held safely by this group that we've created, by your mat. And whether it's the first time you've unrolled your mat this week, or this month, or this year, or it's your 10th or 100th time, know that your mat is welcoming you back and supporting you. And you can feel all the feels that you want to feel on your yoga mat. You are safe. Can we inhale again? Exhale, sigh, let it all go. Can you soften even more? Even more. Letting your shoulders fall away from your ears. And just imagining that breath traveling in through your nose, traveling deep through your throat, filling up your chest, expanding your belly. And as you're concentrating on your breath there, don't concentrate that it's another job to do, but focus on your breath. And if we can do that throughout our practice, maybe when a thought comes into your mind or a posture, maybe something that maybe isn't your favorite, or you're feeling uncomfortable in the pose, don't do anything that puts you in that position today. you might want to do a pose a little higher or lower than I'm offering, and that's okay. Honor your body. And with these next few breaths, just scan your body and see, how are you feeling this Wednesday morning? Just awareness, never judgment, and maybe sending some breath into those areas. I was thinking this morning about talking about peace, and part of being at peace is finding happiness. Hence my Own Your Own Happiness t-shirt this morning. So maybe if it's in your practice, setting an intention, maybe along those lines, and it can be, I am at peace, or I am happy. And we set an intention and put it in the affirmative. And we send that out to the universe. These things are more likely to come to be. So maybe think about that. What brings you peace? And what makes you happy? Maybe that's unrolling your yoga mat on Wednesday morning. Let's take one more inhale together. Open your mouth, sigh, let it all go. Nice, guys. So if you are on your seat, let's join our friends that are on their back in their Shavasana. And then let's just slowly offer some movements to wake up our body here. Rotating our ankles and our wrists. Allowing your head to come to the right side. Maybe your ear is touching your shoulder. Coming back to center and letting your left ear come down to your left shoulder. And bringing back to center. Can you take your feet in so your knees are bent, feet are hip distance apart, toes are facing out, and let's just knock our knees in together. Letting our hands come to the side to support us. And can we slowly just windshield wiper our legs from side to side here. No rush in the world. Slowly waking up your body. I'm offering a little massage to your back here. So I may talk about backs a little bit more in practice over the next few weeks. As I mentioned when I started, I hurt my back. And I've never had any issues with my back before, so it's very interesting how you work through that and how many things are affected if your back is sore. So we must be kind to our backs. The next time your knees fall to the side, can you leave them to your right side, hooking your right ankle over your left knee, taking right hand to belly, and your gaze can be over your left shoulder. Just a little twist here to start. Forcing nothing, because we're just warming up. Maybe just waking up. Nice, guys. Letting your knees come up. Left foot is flat on the floor. Your right leg looks like the number 4 here, figure 4. Keep can leave your posture here, or maybe come up on your tippy toes. If it's in your practice to thread the needle, you can reach through the eye of your leg and just gently bring that left knee to nose, making sure your feet are flexed. Forcing nothing. Beautiful, guys. Letting that go, foot comes down, relax your arms and shoulders. Letting right foot come back to meet left. Again, your toes are facing out, knees are knocking in. And slowly begin your windshield wipers again, from side to side. It's again in that little massage as we go to second side. This time, allowing your knees to fall to the left the next time they are in that direction. Hooking your left ankle now over right knee, gently drawing that knee a little bit closer to the mat. Again, not forcing anything. Hand can be, your left hand can be on your belly now, and looking over your right shoulder. Letting your breath, bring your knees back to center. Once again, we have that figure 4 position now naturally with our legs. You can come up on your tiptoes, or maybe option to thread the needle here. Ensure your feet are flexed to protect your knees. And if this was making you crunch up your shoulders, please come back to a simple figure 4. Nothing's forced here. What serves your body today? Not holding our breath. On our next breath, letting our right foot come down if it was elevated. Left foot meets right. And let's just take our knees into our chest, bringing our head and shoulders up, just giving ourselves a little hug. Maybe rocking from side to side. We're letting that all go. Coming over to your left or your right side and pushing yourself up and landing in our tabletop position. So in our tabletop, making sure we have great alignment to start off our practice. Our shoulders are stacked over top our elbows, on top of our wrists. And we want to bring the eyes, the front of our elbows, facing forward. Toes can be tucked or toes can be flat on the mat. We're just going to travel through a couple cat-cows just to further warm up our spine. So dropping your belly, lifting your gaze, your tail goes long behind you, cow. And exhaling, belly button to spine as we curl up like that scary Halloween cat. Let's do 2 more of those at your own pace, with your own breath, linking your movement with your breath, and offering any authentic movement that your body may be craving here. Maybe in your cat, making a conscious effort to pull that belly button to spine. Just working on some of the pelvic floor here in that posture. And coming back to a neutral spine. Taking our hands just a little bit forward as we push up into our first downward facing dog. propelling out your feet, wagging your tail, maybe taking your dog for a walk. Nope, I shouldn't have said that word too loud. Serafina's in the other room. How is your body feeling in this inversion today? So with our inversions, it's some opportunity, our folds, is to allow ourselves to come inward. So maybe coming back to that intention, if you set an intention today, or offering, I am at peace, I am happy. Bending our knees, looking to the top of our mat and traveling. You can tippy toe, you can take a big step, or maybe it's in your practice to jump to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale, folding in. Let's just do one more warm up here. Taking our feet shoulder distance apart, putting generously into our knees as we grasp opposite elbows, and just hang here in ragdoll for a moment. Nodding your head yes, shaking your head no, letting anything else that you may be holding onto your neck to utterly let go. Guys, excuse me, letting your hands come down, feet come back into hip distance. Inhale, flat back to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Rising up, all the way up, sweeping up, bringing all of that back into your heart. Do that again. Inhale. Bring it back into your heart. One more time. Inhaling. And exhaling, sit back into chair. Once again, tail is tucked, belly button to spine. Hands can be in prayer. Exhaling, letting it all go. Inhale, flat back to lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. And rinse it out with your chaturanga. So our first flow this morning, high or low plank, serve your body. Coming down all the way to your mat. Elbows are close by your side. Let's take our fingers off the mat. Hands are by your temples. Up on our fingertips. Breathing in, inhaling, just a little baby cobra to floss out those shoulders. And exhaling, coming down. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. One more time, inhale and exhale. Beautiful, guys. Just feeling that movement now in your upper torso. Taking our hands back under our shoulders, tucking your toes, pushing up through table, or finding your way all the way through to your downward facing dog. So there's only a few vinyasas this morning. So remember that is just an option. You can stay in your home base of downward facing dog or go into child's pose at any point in time. Can you breathe your right leg up behind you? Looking forward, can you step or help your right leg to the top of your mat? Taking your left foot in 45 now. Warrior one position, rising up. So sometimes this posture can be a little bit awkward. So making sure that the foot is on that diagonal and your heel is flat on the mat. If this isn't feeling stable for you in your posture, just take your left foot out a little bit more. So we want to bend generously into that right knee, but still able to see our right toes and our hips are facing forward. Lots going on in that posture. So making sure your hips are forward, good alignment. And then taking your hands to either heart center, or maybe you can float them up and your gaze can follow. Letting your hands come down. Right foot meets left, and rinse it out with the vinyasa. So again, higher low plank. Flow it out. Let your cobra come up a little higher as we're warming up. And meet in downward facing dog. Always as we're going through these sun salutations, I feel like things come up. So invitation to let a sigh out when you may feel that. Cleansing breath, fresh start before we go into second side. Let your left leg breathe up behind you. Looking forward, stepping or helping your left foot to the top of your mat. Taking your right foot down on a 45, coming up to your warrior one on second side. So please set your foundation first, making sure your hips are square, your balance is there. It's like a scissoring action with your legs, giving you that stability, and then finding your expression, whether it be at heart center or breathing up, and your gaze follows. Are you still breathing? Can we breathe deep? Bend deeper into our left knee. I felt like I had come up a little bit there. Looking forward to the day where we're all in the same room and we can see each other and make those adjustments together if needed. Letting our hands come down. Left foot meets right. And rinse it out with your vinyasa. I'm going to go up on my toes now for my chaturanga. Breathing your heart forward. And downward facing dog. 5 breaths to reset. Wherever you are. I'm just going to check in, see how everybody's doing. A little different warming up with Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutation B this morning. Good morning, everybody. Nice to be back and nice to see everybody. I missed our little community. Alrighty. Can you take your right leg up behind you, looking forward, stepping your right foot to the front of your mat. Pivoting on your back foot so it opens up, coming up into our warrior two. So heel to arch alignment in our warrior two posture. Our tail is tucked. Again, thinking about that pelvis being stable and like a little bowl. And maybe that bowl has some water in it. So when we say tail tuck, your pelvis is more in a neutral position. Helps your back, helps your posture. Beautiful, guys. Flipping your right palm, reach it up and back to exalt your warrior. So if it's in your practice to go into a half bind, you can do that here. Just making sure nothing's happening. Pelvis is still tucked. Beautiful, guys. Coming back through warrior two. As we're doing that, stretching out your right knee without locking it out. Reaching, reaching, reaching forward like you're going through the top of your mat. Can you come down and find your expression, the triangle? So this right knee is soft. Your hand can come down to your inner leg, or maybe have a block or a pillow with you. Opening up your heart and shining that whole left side up and open. So again, making sure your tail is tucked here. This isn't compromising your breath. If you're coming down and you're feeling shrugged, please bring it up. Don't force anything on your yoga mat. You can see the sun shining out my front window here. Nice. Sunny days bring happiness. Much more easy to be happy on a sunny day, isn't it? Beautiful, guys. Letting yourself come back up through Warrior 2 just for a moment to reset before taking your hands to your hip and bringing your feet into the center. So both feet forward on the short edge of your mat. We're in a wide stance here. Sorry, I couldn't find my words. Wide stance. Hands on hips. Can you inhale to lengthen and exhale? Pour yourself all the way forward. Letting your hands come down into this wide-legged forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhale, folding in. So good opportunity once again to fold in. Can you walk your hands over to your right foot? Left hand finds your shin or your ankle. Making sure your knees are soft, not locking out. Can we raise our right hand up into a twist, shining our heart forward to the right side of our mat. Nice, guys. Letting that come down. Walking over now to the left foot, finding right hand to left shin or left ankle. Before breathing our left hand up now, twisting to the opposite side. Shining your heart forward, up and open. Nice. Coming back to center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Before walking your hands back over to your left, allowing your toes to forward to the back of your mat. Leaving your right foot where it is. Can you come up? Warrior 2, second side. We'll do a little half mandala here. So just checking in. You can still see the toes of your left knee or your left foot now. Tail is tucked. Hands are like wings. Gaze is over your left middle finger. So Warrior 2 is a posture of softness and strength. Our legs are providing that stability. Our legs are scissoring to keep our balance. You can see, is there any place you can soften? Making sure your shoulders haven't crept up like earrings. Maybe offering a smile. Flipping your left hand now, reach it up and back to Exalt Your Warrior. An invitation to go into that half bind again if that's in your practice. And what that means is you can tuck your right arm into the back of your lower back and your hand is just resting over that left hip area. Beautiful, guys. Nice stretch on the left side of your body. And coming back through Warrior 2 as we straighten out our left knee without locking it out. Reaching, 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 reaching forward till you feel you can't reach any forward before hinging at your hips. Taking our left hand down to what is acceptable and reaching right hand up and over and your gaze can follow. Tail is tucked. Beautiful, guys. Coming back through Warrior 2 just to reset because I like it a lot. Taking hands back to your hip as you take your left toes forward. We're back to this wide straddle. What I want you to do is just take your heels so they're facing in, your toes are facing out. It's kind of like when we started in windshield wiper this morning. And just rock yourself from side to side as we find that perfect spot. I'm just going to come to my side so you can see me. Finding that sweet spot to to come into our goddess squat. So again, tail is tucked. We don't want to see this. Think about that pelvic bowl holding onto that water. We don't want to drop any of that water. You can take your hands to heart center, maybe thinking this may help it end sooner, or maybe you want to open up your heart a little bit further and add the cactus arm or the jazzy hands. This one's for you, Lori. You can have a little wave. I know your knees are burning, your thighs are on fire. If your knees are burning, that's not good. Come out. Can we hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, guys. Letting hands come up to hips, shaking your legs off. Good job. Taking our feet back to a parallel position. Can we inhale one more time? Exhaling, pouring our heart forward. Maybe just hanging in this forward fold. Maybe going back to the ragdoll arm, so reaching for opposite elbow to where you started. And just feel how that weight of the forearms may allow you to come a little deeper into this posture. Beautiful, guys. Letting our hands come down. We're going to face our right toes to the center, back to the front of the mat. Left foot is facing forward now. So we're back into a low lunge at the front of our mat. Take right to meet left and rinse it out with our final vinyasa. Nice job, guys. So in practice, maybe come up into upward dog before settling back into a child's pose for 10 breaths. Nice work, guys. A few different things this morning that we haven't done for a while. So take a sip of water, if that feels good. So sometimes child's pose may be the hardest pose of the whole yoga class. I know for me with tighter hips is a posture that I had to get, at times using props to get a little bit more comfortable. So option 2, keep your knees wide in this child's pose. Just give an opportunity for your hips to open up a little bit more, and maybe you can sink your hips further down towards the mat. And it's a vulnerable position to be in child's pose as well. The back of our heart is open here. So it's an opportunity to get breath into that back part of our rib cage. Find some expansion. And also to tend the backside of our heart. And I always imagine the back door of our heart there, and maybe there's something that might be impacting your peace or your happiness, and if it serves you, maybe you can open that back door and let it walk out. We're safely held here. Three more breaths. feel ready, you can push yourselves up, and we are going to come onto a seat. So as we make our back way to our mat, we're just gonna add a bow pose in here, because why not? So we're sitting with our feet on the mat. Hands can be underneath your back of your knees, rocking back on your sit bones. Maybe your tippy toes are still touching the mat. Maybe it's in your practice to breathe your feet up, making sure you're sitting back on that sit bone. And this may be it for you, and that's okay. Or maybe it's in your practice to challenge yourself a little bit and take your arms away. I'm not doing too much of that with my, just getting back over my back. So we can hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting your feet come down if they're raised. Maybe coming up just to reset before slowly lowering yourself 1 vertebrae at a time all the way down to your mat. Nice job, guys. Taking your feet flat on the mat, hands can be by your side. Can you walk your feet as close to your hips as they can go, setting up for bridge posture. Taking your hands by your side, can you inhale, gently lifting your hips up. And maybe you can walk your heels in a little bit closer to your hips. Making sure your chin is tucked, like you have a grapefruit there, not extending your neck here. Gentle, gentle. And letting everything come down. Nice job, guys. Maybe taking your knees side to side for windshield wipers to reset. Just briefly. Before, let's do that one more time. So settling our feet flat on the mat, taking your feet as close to your hips as it's possible. Taking your hands by your sides, give you a little bit of stability, breathing your hips up. And maybe inching your feet a little bit closer if you can. Again, making sure that chin is tucked, don't extend your neck. Can you lift your hips up, tucking your tail? If you want to get into your shoulders a little bit, you can clasp your hands and pull down. But that's only if there's nothing going on in your shoulders. Making sure you're still breathing. Your knees are facing forward. Maybe think about having an imagining block between your legs. Getting that nice pressure. Knees aren't falling open. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, guys. Letting your hips come down. Edging your feet out if they've crept in a little bit. Let's go back to that windshield wipers. So, feet are wide apart, toes are facing out, knees are knocking in to start. Hands are by your side. Let's slowly invite this windshield wiper from side to side. And the next time your knees fall to the right, you can leave them there. Taking your right heel over your left knee, drawing it forward and down, if that feels good. Looking over your left shoulder, or eyes can be closed. I might be just taking this moment to feel how your body's feeling now after that 40 minutes of breathing and stretching and moving. Letting your knees come up, letting right foot come down, knocking your knees back in, resetting your windshield wipers, slow and steady. And the next time your knees fall to the left, we're going to leave them there. Letting left heel come over right knee to get a little bit deeper there. Hand can be on your left hand in your belly and gaze over your right shoulder, or eyes can be closed. Once again, noticing any differences on this side. Again, awareness to no judgment, knowing that one side can be completely different than the other. And if anything, maybe calling to attention, sending some extra breath there. Letting your knees come up, taking left foot down, and again, just windshield wiper just a few times. You don't need to get too deep into this, just to reset your spine. Before stretching your legs out, offering one more posture before we get to our Shavasana. If you want to head right to your Shavasana, you can do that. Just taking our feet in, knees are bending, and our knees are opening up to the sides. Just a little bit more of a hip opener here. So if this is not feeling comfortable in your hips, you can just let your feet come out a little bit longer on your mat. So again, nothing to the point that it's uncomfortable. I was feeling a little something in my hip there, so I'm just going to let my feet come to the lower part of my mat. So hand could be to your left hand to your heart, right hand to belly. Just taking a few breaths in this restorative posture, recline bound ankle. Maybe bring your awareness back to your breath if you may have wandered. And if this posture is feeling lovely and you want to stay here for your Shavasana, please do so. If you want to end in a more traditional Shavasana corpse pose, letting your legs stretch out long, allowing your toes to open out to the outer edges of your mat. Maybe tucking your shoulders under, but not allowing that chin to come up, making sure you can still kind of think about that grapefruit underneath your chin, so protecting your neck. And can we inhale together? Exhale, sigh, let it all go. Enjoy these last few moments of class in your silent meditation, and knowing I will be here to bring you back when the time is right. Enjoy. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. If you don't have a hard stop and you'd like to take a few more minutes in Shavasana, please do so. if you need to get on with your day. Slowly bringing awareness back to your body. Inviting small movements now. No rush. Rotating out your ankles and your wrists. Inviting right ear to right shoulder. And coming back to center. And left ear to left shoulder. Stretching your arms and legs out wide. Just giving a long stretch. You've just woken up from a long nap. Before curling up into a ball and rolling over to one side or the other, whichever is calling you. Maybe staying in fetal position just for a moment before pushing yourself up to a seat and coming to the top of your mat. Taking hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Chin can be humble. Closing your eyes if that feels okay, or gaze is lowered here. And just taking a moment to thank yourself for carving out this 45 minutes for you, for breathing and moving and being, and adding to this community that we are cultivating on this Wednesday morning. Noticing any changes that your practice may have brought to your body, your heart, or your mind, maybe even spirit. It has been my honor to lead you in your practice this morning and be back on the mat with you. Know that the love and the light in my heart bows to the love and the light of your hearts. Namaste. May you be at peace. Have great days, everybody. It was great to see you. Thanks for coming, and I will see you next week. Bye.